and hit the spot.
Since I'll go back on another video, I'm Strange Wang, he is Nate, and with this bracket today, we were trying to find out what is the best Quentin Tarantino movie. He'll tell you the rules, then we'll get into it.
Two movies pop up on the screen. We decide which one moves on, which one gets eliminated. If we agree, great. If we disagree, we play rock, paper, scissors to decide who moves on to the next one.
So because of how many movies he has, Pulp Fiction and Django Unchained, I made the bracket. So those are my two favorite Tarantino movies. They're getting a bye. Hopefully that doesn't spoil anything, but probably does.
First up, we have Kill Bill Volume 1 versus Kill Bill Volume 2.
I prefer Kill Bill Volume 1.
Same.
I feel like the other one, because it doesn't go back to the anime, which it doesn't need to, but it's less stylistic.
A little, yeah. I see what you're saying.
The variety of style is like more consistent in Volume 2. That Volume 1 has more cooler moments and everything, so I prefer Volume 1 over Volume 2.
Volume 1, introduction to the story, introduction to this character, creates a lot of mystery around what happened, like how she get in this situation, which that elevates it for me, and the Crazy 88 fight in that entire one shot, which is absolutely sick. So
yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood versus Inglourious Bastards.
My two least favorite Quentin Tarantino movies.
Bummer.
But Brad Pitt is cooler than a motherfucker in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, even though he fantasy beats Bruce Lee. I'm still going with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. War movies aren't my thing, and Inglourious Bastards is a war movie. Simple as that. I don't like war movies.
I guess.
Sue me.
Yeah, technically it's a war movie. I like both of these movies way more than you like them. But I think top to bottom, like Inglourious Bastards, I think does have like some pacing issues and some other stuff like that. I really, really loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so I'm going to take it. I think that's a really unpopular opinion, but whatever.
Yeah.
So Kill Bill Volume 1 versus Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm going with Kill Bill Volume 1. More moments that I can not connect to, but are iconic. They pop. The fun I have watching Kill Bill. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is interesting because it has the aspect to it. But I felt like he was just trying to like, I want to make a movie with the Manson murders in it, but I don't want to be a Manson murder movie. And I feel like that's kind of shoehorned in throughout the film, personally. So, I don't really care for it too much. Great movie.
Yeah.
But
I disagree with your take. I love this movie. I think he wanted to make a movie about what it's like aging in old Hollywood. And was like, I think you said, I want to make a movie about this, and I'm going to throw the Manson murders in it. Like, I think it's the other way around, personally. But I'm still going to pick Kill Bill Volume 1. I do think ultimately it's better and the correct choice. But I am sad that this doesn't get to go further.
he only has so many movies.
Yeah, I know. So Kill Bill versus Pulp Fiction. Tough one.
Like I said, Kill Bill, for me, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But Pulp Fiction is my top two favorite Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
The script, realistically, when you think of the greatest ensemble cast of all time,
It's up there. Before it even knew that it had one of the greatest ensemble casts.
Pulp Fiction's coming up to your head, like top three.
Yeah.
The script is probably top three favorite scripts of all time as well.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there.
So Pulp Fiction for me.
Yeah. Introduced me to a whole new way to make a movie. You know, non-linear storytelling. This really, really weird subject matter that was really foreign to me the first time I ever saw it. I had no clue what a gimp suit is. It probably wasn't until like the third time that I watched this movie until I realized that sometime between the second time I watched the movie and the third time I watched the movie, I learned what a gimp suit was. You know? And like what was really going on there. But
My history in my phone changed so much between those two watches.
So yeah, Pulp Fiction, no doubt, between those two. And then on the other side of the bracket, we have Jackie Brown versus The Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight is such a masterful film that people are like, oh, it's too slow. It only takes place in one place. Dumb people watch that movie, and that pisses me off because it's so much better
Yeah.
than what people say it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackie Brown's cool and all. Jackie Brown, you have to be a fan of black exploitation to really like fully understand and get that, because Quentin Tarantino has this passion for it. And if you're not fully gonna care. Because like he said, the stories isn't something you see all the time. The characters aren't something you see all the time. It's a movie from a different era, a bygone era, and he wanted to make one, and he made one, and it's really good. But Hateful Eight is a play,
right,
on screen.
God, and tonight you just keep thinking the things that I'm thinking.
Back to the ensemble cast, the twists and turns.
It's like you got smarter when you cut your hair.
The twists and turns, everything in that movie just worked for me. So,
yeah. Is it a play on screen? Absolutely. Does that make it any less good of a movie? Hell no. This movie's sick. I freaking love this movie.
And on top of that, Jackie Brown doesn't have Sweet Dave in it.
That's true.
Nobody speaks French in Jackie Brown.
Yeah, oui. Is your ass fat?
I said, ask me.
Reservoir Dogs versus Death Proof.
Reservoir Dogs is so underrated. Incredible film. I think so.
Huh.
I think when it comes to Tarantino movies, it should be in the top 5. But, like we talked about, people love Inglourious Bastards. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, people love that.
Yeah.
So, I love it.
Yeah.
Death Proof is exactly what it's meant to be.
Right.
It's a grindhouse film for a double feature. It has this cool, unique premise with just zero logic in the filmmaking, and he had probably a ball making it.
Yeah.
Good for him. I had a ball watching it. But if I want to watch a film, I'm watching Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, this was clearly just like, I don't know if passion project is necessarily the right word. For him, it probably was, but I think you put it really well. He had fun writing this and directing it and shooting it, and it is what it is. But we're talking about complete movies, like top to bottom story. And like him just coming out with Reservoir Dogs and show like it definitely feels very much so like a first movie to me.
Yes.
But him just coming out the gate, showing what he's capable of doing dialogue wise, having his characters talk about things that have nothing to do with the film, and then making them that much more engaging and interesting to you, because now these aren't just like a group of, hitmen, crime lords, bank robbers, whatever. Like, they have personalities. Each of them has their own individual, unique personality, and you get that from them talking at a diner about nonsense, right? So, I agree. RD. Hateful Eight versus Reservoir Dogs.
I'd rather hear nonsense talked in a haberdashery over nonsense talked in a diner.
So, literally everything that I just said about Reservoir Dogs, this does it way more interestingly and much better, in my opinion. Yes. Yeah. Hateful Eight versus Django. Little Western on Western action.
Django Unchained is impeccable. It's an entire TV series with the fat trimmed off, shoved into a movie, and it works so well. The pacing works so well. You have this relationship, this bond you fall in love with, and it builds to that climactic moment of two of the most hateful, terrible characters you will find on film, and two heroes, and they're being poked, and as an audience member you're being poked right along with them, and you're on the edge of your seat. The action, everything in this film is incredible. Dialogue, incredible. I love Django Unchained.
Django is freaking sick. Again, just Tarantino, like he always does, showing what he can do with dialogue. But I don't know that any movie really does it better than Django. Like,
I think Pulp Fiction is better.
You don't have the like your characters just talking about nonsense while they're on their way to murder. Like, most of the dialogue in Django just has to do with what's happening in the movie, which honestly is like out of character for a Tarantino movie. So it's really kind of his most like just straightforward. Well, like Kill Bill's that way too, I guess. Yeah. But
it wouldn't make sense in that movie.
Yeah, right.
Like, what is he going to talk? Django's been a slave for how many years? What's he supposed to talk about?
Well, you get like little bits and pieces of it, like, so it's still on topic, but like him having a whole side conversation about not knowing what "I'm positive" means.
Yeah,
and like
that's on topic.
Yeah, but it's still just like
I know what you mean.
It's it's on topic, but it's like this is not the time to be having this conversation, you know. And they're so chill when they're having it, like, which is part of what makes, oh my god, what's the dentist's name?
Dr. King Schultz.
Thank you, Schultz. Which makes him so great. He's like the most even keeled.
Yeah.
The entire movie until he finally has had enough shit. So yeah, Hateful Eight, wonderful dialogue. It's a really, really great movie. It does something that almost, like, it's so unique. And Django is too, but like Hateful Eight is like an incredibly unique film, and I love it very much. But top to bottom, Django is like, it's definitely like one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So, and then finally, which I mean, I'm sure neither of us would have guessed this would be the final two, but Pulp Fiction versus Django.
You said top 10 favorite movies of all time. Django was in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Yeah, I'm going with Django.
I can't remember where I had it in my last.
To me, list. The point of it's just so revolutionary that Pulp Fiction was, that it's been talked about and like romanticized to an extent.
Yeah.
To almost annoyance. Hinders it a little bit. It has that Fight Club, I'm a bro syndrome to me, for sure. But I love it. You're not gonna have better dialogue. You're not gonna find better dialogue in a movie than Pulp Fiction. How many politics between y'all? Just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character. Tons of great lines. To me, when I sit down to watch a film, I'm looking for investment. I'm looking for feelings and relatability. Neither of these films have relatability, but investment and easiness to watch is Django, and I love westerns, so Django's my pick personally.
Yeah,
I love Pulp Fiction. But
I happen to have my list still. It's number 10. Django was number 10 in my top 10.
Oh wow!
You know what's not my top 10? Pulp Fiction. Actually, I don't even think it was going to be my top 20 this time, but it's always changing. You never know. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, really, really important, showing that cinema doesn't have to be this linear, straightforward thing that we've pretty much always had. And, like, movies can be dirty and grimy, and they're that much more interesting because of it. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with it. It doesn't mean you have to think that these characters are right. But it exposes you to something that's just completely different. And that is a big reason why Pulp Fiction is super important. Pulp Fiction also is super important by like him showing you what soundtrack can do in a film.
Yes.
Over score necessarily. And Django has Django has that too, but not in the way Pulp Fiction does. Like Pulp Fiction is like maybe not like one of the best soundtracks of all time, but like one of the most important to the movie soundtracks of all time. So Pulp Fiction did a lot of really important things for film and for me and my understanding and interpretation of film. But top to bottom, Django is just sick. It's a more cohesive story. Tarantino's got movies under his belt at this point. He's really in his wheelhouse. And so I agree wholeheartedly. It's to Django.
The D side.
It's also like freaking funny. Like, this movie is very, very funny.
Like I don't know where he would be at, because you have Indiana Jones, you have Han Solo, you have Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Yeah.
You have Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You have so many cool characters in cinema. Yeah. Django is one of them.
Django is one of the coolest characters in all of film. Without a doubt, yeah. I think we all think the bags were a good idea.
We need to talk about Steven. one of the most despicable hate.
Yeah.
Like, this is Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
In meme Samuel L. Jackson time, and this man made me hate Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. That's true.
Snowball.
Yeah.
But let us know in the comment section down below why Inglourious Basterds should have went on further, why Pulp Fiction is his best film. Whatever you want to put down there, you can. Tell us we're racist because we like Django a little too much and we're both white. I don't know. Do what you want. It's a comment section. But I am telling you to hit that like button and that subscribe button.